Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is for the birthday month of April and the birthstone is diamonds. So for all of my April babies out there, happy birthday and happy belated birthday. I hope you have, or that you did have, a wonderful day. I'm wishing nothing but happiness, health, and love towards your way, down your path, and I just hope you celebrated a happy birthday month overall. So since today is diamonds, this is the look that I decided to go for, and I have my nails to go with it. I'm not personally a diamonds type of girl, so I decided to support with my diamond nails today. So if you're interested in how I got this look, please keep on watching. As always, we're going to start out with our FENTY lip scrub, or a lip moisturizer of some sort. Today it's going to be the FENTY lip scrub. It is well worn, you guys. I feel like this is my favorite. For diamonds, you see I have my nails appropriately ready for for April. I'm going to be using all my luxury items. You know, most people consider diamonds to be like a very luxury item. So I'm using all of my luxurious products that I have for today's video. Yves Saint Laurent Touche Éclat primer, and I have the one in gold. They have one that's also in silver, so and it has like little gold. I don't know if you can actually see. I don't know if you can actually see like the gold reflex or glitter or whatever that's in there. But they have two, so if you're on the more tan, the deep side, you can use this primer. If you're more on the fair side or have a cooler undertone, I guess that's a better way to say it. If you have a cooler undertone, you can use the one with the silver glitter in it. And it's just to help light reflect off of your skin. And I do like this primer. The texture is not going to be for everybody. It has a more silicone feel to it. So when you're putting it on your face, you can feel the texture of it. It's not per se like lotion. So yeah, it has a very silicone-like feel. But I do like the way my skin blurs after I rub it on and allow it to sink in. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna start with the It Cosmetics Love Is Foundation brush. I thought this was really cute. I saw another YouTuber, Miriam Maquillage, with this brush, and I was like, oh my goodness, this brush is so cute. It's in the shape of a heart. So this was purely just like a, oh my gosh, this is so cute type brush. Like, my last name is Heart. It's in the shape of a heart. It has little glittery inside, or little confetti inside the brush. So this was purely just like, oh my gosh, I feel like I need it type purchase. I think it was limited edition. They didn't even sell it in the US anymore. I had to go over to, I think it was cultbeauty.com, and order it, which is a UK based website. So yeah, I had to kind of go through some hoops to get this. For our foundation today, I'm going to be using the McGRATH Sublime Skin Fetish, or excuse me, Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. I'm in the color medium 18, and you guys, I have a special place in my heart for this foundation because it was the very first foundation where it was a perfect shade match to me. Before, all my foundations were a little off. enough to blend in, because most of the time people are not looking at you directly to know, like, oh, that doesn't match 100%. So, but yes, this was the very first foundation that was an exact shade match to me. And I have gotten the most comments wearing this foundation than I have any other foundation, because it's so skin-like. And as you can see, even when I'm tapping it in, like, you see right here my skin complexion, and then over here, it literally just looks like a better version of my skin, where my skin is a little reddish, so to speak. I feel like this just comes in, gives me a fantastic skin-like finish. My skin just looks radiant. And the formula is meant to be skin-like, so it's very natural. It doesn't necessarily look like you have anything on per se. And this is another luxury brand and Black-owned business, so I'm always out to support our Black-owned businesses. And this was my very first luxury splurge as far as foundation goes. I think this foundation was $65 or $68, and I had never spent that much on a foundation ever. It was always kind of one of those things, luxury brands, they don't have the foundation shades for people of color within the deeper skin range. I'm pretty sure for me, I probably could have found a shade, because I'm not so far into the deep end of the darker skin complexion, so I probably could have found one. But I want all my fellow sisters to be able to enjoy luxury brands too, and not have to feel like a second thought. So when Pat McGrath came out, my lips are already starting to peel. Yes. When she came out with her brand, and it was like a Black-owned luxury brand, I was like, I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. Some people did not like the formula. They said that it's not, dry skin friendly or oil skin friendly. People were on the fence about it. For me, I had no issues with it. I loved it. I love how thin the formula is. I like how it melts into the skin. I really like this brush because my skin looks flawless right now, and I'm here for it. And usually when I use a brush, I stipple foundation in, so I don't swipe, because it's so much easier to get brush lines in your foundation when you use a brush and you swipe. I stipple it in, so that's what I was doing, was just pressing it into the skin. So yeah, I have many positive memories with this foundation. I would recommend it, especially to people out there who don't want a heavy or thick foundation, but enough to even your skin out, give you like a natural radiance. And today I did something different from what I usually do. So not only did I use a brush, but I was watching another YouTuber a couple of weeks ago, and I apologize, I can't remember who that person was. I think it might have been Kinky Sweat, but don't quote me. But they were saying, when you put foundation on the back of your hand and then work the product into your brush or sponge or whatever, you get better results of how your foundation comes out, because you're warming it up. You're activating it. So your heat from your body activates the product, and thus allows a better application. And I always used to wonder, you know, why do people put it on the back of their hand? I didn't realize it was to activate the product. So even though I've been doing makeup for years, you learn something new every day. I have always been against putting it directly on my skin personally, because as a person who does other people's makeup as a freelance makeup artist, that's not a habit I want to get into, is warming up product on the back of my hand and then applying it to somebody's face. Some people are not going to have a problem with it, but if it was me getting my makeup done at like a makeup counter, I would not want to see somebody putting product on the back of their hand and putting it on my face. So I typically have like a Petri or a makeup palette that I use and mix to activate it. Excuse me, but I do see where I feel like this went on even better than it usually does using this technique. So that's just something to be aware of when you do your own makeup. If you don't mind sacrificing the back of your hand to do it, and my hand looks super light. If you don't mind, you know, sacrificing your hand to mix up the product and get the best color payoff, I say to absolutely do it. So for concealer today, I'm going to continue with the Pat McGrath. So I'm going to use her, I got a new color. I got M16. I originally have M14, and then I recently bought M16. So M16 is here on the top, and I don't know if you can see like the difference in the color, but I got this one because M16 because it's supposed to have peach undertones, and peach and orange are good colors for color correcting. And then my LM14, I'm still keeping it, but this is more so for brightening. So on the days where my bags and discoloration up under my eyes is very prominent, I'll probably use this one. And then when I just want brightening, I'll use LM14 because I think this is a neutral undertone. So that will give me the brightness that I'm looking for. So today I might use both. It just depends. I'm literally going in. You guys know I don't use a lot of concealer at all. It's not a necessity for me to use so much concealer. And I'm just gonna take my brush and I'm gonna see if I can get through. I'm not gonna be able to get through everything, but I want to try a couple of different techniques today, actually. This is going to be my experimentation video. And then I'm going to use the LM. Well, you know what? Let me try this. This is my first time using the peach colored one, LM16. So I'm curious to see how the rest of my face is going to look. And I'm going to immediately blend out my T-zone area here. And because this is a creamier formula, I'm going to try to let the concealer sit up under my eyes for a little bit and see if I get better, results that way. Like, I've never had an issue with my foundation results, but most people say you'll get more color if you let it sit up under your eyes for a little bit. And I just never let mine sit, because for me, I typically don't need like a lot of coverage up under my eyes. It's very rare that I have bags up under my eyes. So I tried it one time before and I was using the wrong concealer. It just turned into a big whole mess. The concealer wasn't creamy enough. It was very drying. And yeah, it went ahead and took my makeup right on off. So yeah, I haven't tried it since that whole fiasco. So I'm gonna switch over and I'm gonna be using my Beauty Bakery sponge. I don't use wet sponges when I do my makeup. I've said this in some of my earlier videos, but in case you guys are wondering, I don't use wet sponges. I feel like I don't get the color payoff that I'm looking for when I use a wet sponge, and essentially that's why you use a damp sponge, is to it reduces the amount of product that you put on so you can control it better. And I want all of the product that I'm putting on my face. If I'm putting it up there, I want all of it. So if you're going for a more natural finish, use a damp beauty sponge, whatever it is, whether it's Beauty Bakery, whether I'm forgetting the other one, the one Beauty Blender, whatever sponge. If it's an e.l.f. camo sponge, if it's wet, you want it'll reduce the amount of product that you keep on your face. If it's dry, you'll have more product. And so I'm just blending it in. Oh, I feel like I can see a difference. I do feel like it melted in my skin much better. And if you're not a brush person, or if you're just starting to use a brush and you're not, confident that you don't have brush strokes in your foundation, you can just go over it with the sponge and just press it in. And this will help to get rid of any brush strokes you might have missed by just, stippling in with the brush. This will go in and give you a more perfected overall look. It's not a necessity, but a lot of people do it just because they just want to make sure they look extra flawless. I really like that brush because I can't visibly see any brush strokes. And I think everything came together very well today. I'm very pleased. I love how my skin looks. And anytime I use my Pat McGrath foundation, my skin typically comes out looking like this. Like, I always look just flawless. But I've never used it with the Touche Éclat primer before, and I feel like I look even more airbrushed than normal. Like, I have a filter on my face, and this is just what my face looks like, and I absolutely love it. All right, so for my under eye setting powder, I'm going to be using the Pat McGrath Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. I have the color medium, and this is what it looks like. So that's what I'm going to be setting my under eye with today. And I'm just going to use a sponge, and I'm going to use the clean side, not the side where I blotted. And I'm literally I just rubbed it on the sponge, and I'm just going to press. Ooh. I think I might have been a little too heavy-handed today. And I just picked up some more. And again, I'm just going to press into the skin. And I like that instant blur effect. And you can definitely see I have more on this side than I do on that side. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit more and literally just press. All right. All right. And then I'm just going to pick up my brush and just kind of go over it just a little bit. And just to make sure it's a little bit more even into the skin tone. And if you want, you can take that powder and set the rest of everything, which is what I'm going to do. All the places where I put the concealer, I'm just going to go in and dab this right down on it to set it in place. And a little goes a long way with this powder, because it does leave a little sheen behind. I'm just kind of lightly tapping that in. And then I'm just gonna go right in around my nose. There we go. And as always, you can take your foundation brush and just kind of stipple, that stippling motion. Just kind of pat it in there. So next we're going to do contour, and I have the Patrick Ta Cream and Contour Powdered Bronzer Duo, and she's sculpted. And so I just think the packaging is absolutely beautiful. I don't think Patrick Ta is considered luxury, but based on the packaging and everything, it looks luxury to me. And I like the fact that it's like a multi-functioning product here. So you have your cream contour here and your bronzer powder here. So you have both in one compact. And then there's a little cap on top of the cream product to keep it from intermixing with the powder product. And what I like about this is that you have the best of both worlds. So if you're a bronzer person, you have this one at the bottom. If you're a cream contour person, you have this at the top. But the contour color is going to be a little bit more cool, and your bronzer is going to be a bit more warm, which is the exact purpose and the same color that they're typically supposed to follow. Nowadays, even your contours that people are coming out with lean to the warmer side. And there are some times when I just personally don't feel like looking warm. I want days where I want to have a more sculpted look, and it's not too many real contours on the market anymore. Huda Beauty has her Tantour, but even that to me still runs a little bit warm. And that's because that's what people want. So I like that this has the best of both worlds. I was reading some reviews, and I'm just going to take my old BH Cosmetics brush, y'all. I really need to get a new one. I think I'm going to actually get the Patrick Ta one, because I have the Fenty Beauty cheek brush, but I don't think it will work well with the cream contour. It's really made for powder. So I don't necessarily want to use that brush for this, because I feel like it's going to pick up more product than what I want. So I'm just using this. Has been my old contour brush for the longest, for cream, for powder, for whatever I wanted it to be. So like I always say, I'm going to use my tracheus as my starting point, and I literally just dab it into my skin, and it doesn't look like anything came on, but it does. It's very, very subtle. There, you can see it right there. It's very subtle, and that's what I like about it. And I'm just going to brush it upward. And that's what I like about it, because it's not super pigmented. So it's not like you start off with this big hit of color and then you're blending out. It's really very light, and then you can do whatever it is that you want to do with it. So I picked up too much for me. So I'm just going to blot on a paper towel. So I'm just going to wipe off whatever's on my brush and literally just, oh, and there's Midori, my cat, in the background. And I'm literally just blending this in circles to thin it out some. But just that quick, you can see even the difference in my face. If we're looking at my face side by side, my face looks much more full and plump on this side, and this side appears to be thinner. Well, let me put this in the middle. It appears to be thinner. And that's the magic of like contour and sculpting, just that quickly. And so again, I'm just gonna take my brush, go in, pick up some more product. And I tend to go higher rather than dragging it down. And before, I was even dragging it to the middle of my eyeball, which I will tend to do for bronzer. But for contour, because it's so much more pigmented and gray, I typically just go to the outer part of my eye and I stop right there. I don't want to bring it in so far where it starts to look a little muddy on the rest of my face. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a slight right here, then up there. And so it's really, I really like the balm effect. I like the fact that it's, excuse me, I like the fact that it's cream. And I like the fact that you have to work to pick up a good amount of product, because in all honesty, contouring can be a little bit scary. Bronzing, people feel more comfortable with because that's what they do on a more frequent basis. But with contour, because it tends to be a little bit cooler, it can bring you out of your comfort zone very quickly. And then I'm just going to contour my jawline down here. You know how I like to shave off the pounds on my face. So at this point, I'm picking up a good amount. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to invest in his brush simply because it's like it's a fan brush, but it's a dense fan brush. Not like the fan brushes we used to use for highlighters when that was all the rage. But it's a denser fan brush, so it can actually pick up the cream products. And I thought about getting the deeper one. So there's 3. She's Sculpted, which is the one that I'm using now, is the middle one. And then they have, Patrick has, She's Chiseled, which is for the deeper skin complexions. And I thought about getting that one first. And then I was like, well, maybe it'll be too dark because it's really like a chocolate. And I was like, well, I don't want it to be too deep. But what I find with this one is that it's so subtle that it can get lost in the sauce, which I like a lot. But sometimes I feel like I want to be able to see it more. This is just like, hey, I'm here. I made an appearance. It's doing what it needs to do. Absolutely. There's no disputing that. I can definitely tell the difference, but it's so very subtle on me that I think I want something a little bit deeper. And the reason I didn't get it, because I got this during the Sephora sale. And the reason I didn't get it was because I was like, well, what if it's too dark? What if I end up and I can't use it? I mean, I can always give it away. I'm not the type of person who buys makeup and then returns it back to the store. I just take that loss myself and just give it to a friend, because I have friends and all different skin tones, and they will be glad to have something and not have to pay for it, because I wish I had friends who did makeup and be like, yeah, I'm not going to use this, go ahead and get it. But I don't have any friends who do makeup. So that is not a luxury that I get to get. And so I'm literally just taking the corner of the brush and just going in literally up under my eye and bringing it down. So I'm not even using my other brush because I want this to be diffused. I don't want the line to be so stark with this because it's already much cooler. And typically people tend to go with the bronzer color up here, but like I said, I want to be more sculpted today. So I'm intentionally using the contour part. I like the way it smells though. It's very nostalgic for me. So I don't know if you guys remember, well, for me, when I was in high school back in 2005, when I was getting ready to go to prom, I went to the store and got the little compacts and makeup of CoverGirl to get my color and everything. And the foundation in the powder had like this, I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to say like old lady smell, but it was a very distinctive smell that I feel like makeup back then used to have. And it reminds me of that smell, which I actually like. It's very nostalgic for me. So this is the finished product. And as you can see, like the lines, when you come back to it, you can see where your lines are if they're not 100% blended out. But like I said, I like the fact that it's so subtle. And now at this point, you can go over it with the bronzer. What brush do I want to use? So this is the Fenty Beauty Bronzer brush. So I'm going to try it with this brush and see. Pick up the bronzer. And like I said, what I like about this brush is the fact that it's created to like hug your cheeks. So I'm just going to pick up the bronzer and go in. And I like the combination of both because the bronzer itself is much warmer. So you get the best of both worlds. And I'm going actually above the contour because we contour down here and I do the bronzer on top of it, so above it. And I like that look that it gives. And then I'm just going to tap that. And typically I would set my face first before I would do my bronzer, but I wasn't sure how this product would react on top of the setting spray. So I opted to do this first and then I'll just set everything. You see, I like that. It warmed me up some, but I don't feel like super warm. And then I'm going to take my eyeshadow brush. So this is my Colored Rain brush. I don't know where my other little nose brush is right now. So I'm just wiping off any product that I have left over on this, which appears to be quite a lot. And I'm just gonna go over my nose because that brush is too big to get into my nose area. And so I'm just bringing that down. Creating my little button. All right. So that is the contour look. So the setting powder that I'm going to use today is the Givenchy Prisma Libre. I have number 5, which is Popoline Mariposa. That's the setting powder that I'm going to use all over my face. And one of the things I like about it, well, you can't actually see it that way, but it has 4 colors inside of it. And essentially, okay, there we go. That's a better way of looking. I'm gonna try to hold it from the top. But all of these 4 colors are supposed to go in and give you your best powder effect. And as you can see, I have like this very much. And you literally just press it into the skin to set. So that's what I'm going to be using today. And all of those colors are supposed to give you dimension into your skin. And as you can see, it's literally just melting into my skin, giving me a filtered effect. And if you want to, like, you can drop it into the top. I don't typically like doing that. Because I feel like that way you get more of one color. And I like mine to be even. But I do like how even up under the powder, I don't feel like it took away anything. I make sure to get in those crevices around the areas where I sweat. So right around my nose area. And again, I'm just pressing into the skin. So, and I feel like I look overall more put together. And I like looking put together. And so now I'm going to set my face like I usually would. I'm going to be using the Beauty Bakery, who is this? Sweet Grace Baking Spray. And I'm just going to spray the Beauty Bakery sponge. And then I'm just going to pounce that into my skin. And I feel like this gives you, even though I feel like I already looked super airbrushed today, this just goes in and solidifies that. And again, get into those areas where you know that you're going to sweat. And because I'm going to wear white today, trying to give some extra hold power because I don't want any transfer onto my white shirt. So I'm going to concentrate a lot of spray down here. And then I'm just going to let that dry. So for eyebrows, I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty MVP brow. It would help if I actually put it in a screenshot. I'm going to do this off camera because y'all have seen me do my eyebrows several times. And as y'all know, I don't do that much to my eyebrows in general. So I'll be right back. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes with the Fenty Beauty eyeshadow base. And because today is diamond, that makes me think of old classic eyeshadow. A nice elongated wing, nice fluffy lashes, you know, a nice contoured cheek, and a bold red lip. So I think that's the look I want to go for today, is an old school Hollywood look. And as always, the eyeshadow palette that we'll be using is from BH Cosmetics. Because this is the month of April, we're going to be doing the Diamond palette. And so, this is what the palette looks like for the month of April. And I had already swatched those, so that's why there's little fingerprints in it. But of course, we have Diamond over here. We have Suave, Lover, Bling, Fearless, Stunning, and Neutral. So I think, again, they've done a good job with naming the colors, in the sense that I have friends that are Aries, and I think that this suits the range of Aries personalities that I know of. So just for the sake of following our tutorial as we usually do, this palette is $9, and I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them. So for Diamond, this is the color for Diamond. I like that one. Neutral, Stunning, I'm gonna do Fearless last up here, this one. Suave, I don't know how I'm doing my colors today. And then this is Lover. And then we have Bling, which they always have one shimmer shadow in the palette. And then we're gonna do Fearless. I didn't want my finger to be black and ruin the other colors. So I'm gonna do Fearless up here. Okay. So what I think I'm going to do for the sake of today's tutorial, I'm gonna go in with the color Diamond all over my eyelid, and then I'm gonna line with the color Fearless. All right, so I'm gonna go in with my Colored Rain round shadow brush, and I'm gonna pick up the color Diamond, and I'm going to start on my lid. I'll probably blend it upward with a blending brush, but we'll start on the lid first. Ooh. All right. We're definitely getting the color payoff today. So with that being said, what I'm going to do, just to give us some depth, I'm going to go in with my small blending brush, and I'm going to go into the color Suave here, just to give us some depth behind that color up here. And I'm going right into my crease here. Like I said, I'm not trying to do a super detailed look for this, because in old Hollywood there really wasn't a lot of color during that time frame. It was really just eyeliner, flesh toned eyeshadow, nice fluffy lashes, sculpted cheeks, and nice bold red lip. So that's what I plan on sticking to today. All right. So back into my shader brush. And I honestly probably could have went in with the color neutral for it to be more old Hollywood, but I always strive to use the birthstone of the month in my eyeshadow looks. So we're going to go with Diamond to give us that pop. And if you wanted to do a more toned down version of this, you could very well go in with neutral all over the lid, where I have Diamond, and then just add Diamond in the center to give yourself a pop of shimmer in the middle, if you did not want it to be as bright and as strong as this one is. So what I'm going to do, just to tone it down a little bit, is the mini blending brush. I'm just literally going to go over it. That was a clean brush that I had, and I'm just going to blend this out some and blend it upward into the crease. So we're getting a more of a flush of color, so to speak, versus the stark contrast between the two. And if you ever find that you have too much on your brush, again, you can just wipe it off. That's what I'm doing. I'm just going in and toning this down some. There we go. I like that, nice and simple. Very elegant. Fantastic. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Precision Liner Brush by Colored Rain. Let me move it in front of my face so you can see it. And as usual, because I wanted to pick up deep color, I'm going to go ahead and spray it with the setting spray from earlier. And I'm going to shake off the excess, and then I'm going to go into the color Fearless, this black color here, and I'm going to use that to line my eyes. Ooh, I already had a little snafu up there. And like I always say, I typically start at the middle of my eye and then work my way inward. Just so that way, if there's any liquid still from the setting spray up there, it will kind of dissipate into the top part of my eye, not roll down here into the middle part of my eye down here, possibly causing agitation. And I'm just going to take this down across my bottom waterline here. I'm not actually going to put it in my waterline, but I'm just going to put it right up under, because I'm not going to put setting spray directly into my eye, you guys. Just not going to do that. But I'm literally getting as close to my waterline as possible. And if you want it to be a softer black liner, you don't have to put setting spray on it. I just do that for me because most of the time the black liners don't come off super pigmented and I want it to show up. However, this one seems to be extremely pigmented, so it's not necessary to have the setting spray if you don't want it to come out as pigmented as this. And I'm just going to fix that little snafu up there in the top. I'm just going to take my round shader brush, close the eye, and just dab right over that little ear. Well, we'll go back in with a Q-tip and fix it later. And if this eye is, or the eyeliner is a little bit too dramatic for you, you can opt not to line the bottom part of your eye if you don't want to. You can keep it strictly on the top. It's whatever makes you feel comfortable. I think that is the beauty of makeup, is when you see somebody do something else, yours doesn't have to be exactly like theirs. You can do it to suit your own personal style, what's comfortable for you. And as you can see, I'm much better at lining my right eye because I'm right-handed than I am my left eye. So yeah, for you, if this is good enough, you don't want to do the bottom part, that's just fine. All right, so if you're able to go in pretty quickly before it dries, you can take a Q-tip and go right in and immediately remove it. You can do it that way. If you're not that fast, then you can always correct with concealer. And for me, because we've powdered and done all of that, I really don't want to go back in with concealer and try to fix all of this. So I'm trying to fix it before it dries down. And I'm just taking away that excess up under the line. There we go. And if needed, you, like I said, you can always go back in. And then for this little snafu up here at the top, I'm literally just taking the corner well, the tip of this, and these are actually like makeup Q-tips, to go in and fix that. And then I'm literally just going to go in with that Q-tip and pack. Ooh, no, it'll fall on my face. And the reason I used the Q-tip is because the brush wasn't picking up enough product. I wasn't really trying to get so much where I wanted to redo the whole eye. So I just needed something to pack in right quick over that eye. And then I'm just going to take the brush like we did before and go ahead and try to thin it down some. Just like that. And just like that, we're finished with the eyes, with the eye look so far. And now we're going to do lashes. All right, you guys. So the lashes that we're going to use for today's look are the Lily lashes in Milan. And so I really like their ash comb, but they no longer carry those. So I emailed them, and one of the reasons I love Lily lashes is because they have excellent customer service. So I emailed them and asked them, hey, I don't see ash comb on your website anymore. Are you guys sold out? Did you discontinue them? And what is a lash that's similar to it? And literally within 4 hours, somebody responded and said it was discontinued, but Milan is very similar in style to ash comb. So that's what I got. I ordered that. For my eyeliner, I'm going to be using the Lily Lashes Power Liner in black. I have it both in the black and the clear. Since we already have heavy black eyeliner on today, I'm going to go ahead and use the black one. And what I love about this is, first of all, before I do that, let me go ahead and prep my lashes. What I like about the Power Liner is that it's very easy to use. So it's a felt tip pen, like eyeliner, but it doubles as a lash glue. And so what I'm doing is I'm going ahead and pulling my lashes off of the little stand, so they'll be ready to pick up. The other thing I like about it is that it doesn't take long for the liner to get tacky at all. And this is also a way, if doing the manual liner didn't work for you, this is still an eyeliner. Yes, an eyeliner and a lash glue at the same time. So you can go in, and where you don't feel like, you did a good job lining, you can clean up some of that liner. And literally, I'm just going over it. And what I like about it is that you can feel it. So you're supposed to put 2 applications down, and you can already feel it getting tacky when you drag it across your eye. Me and liner today, I keep making snafus. You can feel it getting tacky on your eye. So it's not like the lash glue by itself where you have to wait for it to dry down and all of that. You can feel it already getting tacky on your eyes. So literally, I'm just going to take my lashes and I'm going to attach. Just like that, they're attached. And if you go in too far, which I just did because it was hurting the inside of my eye, you have time to readjust them to get them to fit and lay. And people, make sure that you Make sure that you trim the lashes if you need to before you put them on. For me, my eye shape, I never have to trim my lashes. But there we go. Just like that. They're stuck on. They're tight. Like I can feel them sucking into the lash glue. So just like that. So this is like a nice fluttery lash. It's there, but it's not over the top. We can still see our wing going off to the side. And that's what I like about these particular ones. And that's what I liked about Ash Comb, was that it was enough of lashes to see, but they weren't so fluffy, so over the top that it felt like you were doing too much. So again, and I shake mine up. It's a habit. Anytime I have like a felt tip liner, that was my habit, to always shake it so the product can drain down towards the tip. And I'm going to do the same thing. And my left eye is my struggle eye, you guys. So bear with me. And I love wearing lashes. I don't wear lashes all the time, but I like the extra oomph that lashes give a look. And because our eye is so simple, I wanted to do something to spice it up. And so I'm doing the same thing. Had my eyelashes ready, and I'm literally just going to sit them down. And like I said, my left eye is always my struggle eye because I am right-handed. Just like that. It's attached. I can close my eyes and it's not uncomfortable. And then when you see me doing this, what I'm doing is I'm just sealing the lash down to my lash line, essentially. And there we go. Just like that. 2 minutes, like it definitely is a game changer for me, how fast it takes me to put on lashes, or how long it takes me to put on lashes has definitely decreased. And I'm not afraid to show you guys how I do it on camera. Before, I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to put on fake lashes on camera. People are going to think, oh my gosh, it takes her so long to put on fake lashes. And sometimes lashes just have a life of their own. They do what they want to do. Sometimes they're cooperative. Other times they're not cooperative. And as you can see, lashes today haven't been my struggle. It's this eyeliner today. Everybody keeps wanting to go where it's not supposed to go. And again, just cleaning up that little snafu. Great. And now for lipstick. So I'm just going to wipe off the lip scrub that we had earlier going on. And I have two options for today's lip. So because we're doing old Hollywood, I want to have the true red lipstick. So I have two to pick from. I have the Kylie Cosmetics in Mary Jo K. And then I have the Fenty Beauty in Stunna. Excuse me, Uncensored. So it's the Stunna lip paint. And so I haven't used them in a while, so I'm just kind of shaking them up. But I wanted the true blue red. We have like a lot of different reds out on the market. You have your burgundy reds, you have your purple reds. You have your pink reds. So that's a stunner. And then I'm going to look at Kylie. I think either one of these will give the look that I'm going for, but I just want blue, red today. So this is the Kylie, and then this is the stunner on top. So when you're looking in the mirror, they pretty much look the same. This one, the stunner lip paint is a bit brighter. It's a bit more fire engine red, and this one isn't as bright. So I'm gonna go with the stunner lip paint. And no, I'm not gonna line my lips today. Or do I want to line my lips? No, I'm not gonna line my lips today. So it's probably time for me to replace this. I've had this one for I've had this since it launched, so it's time for me to replace this, to be honest, just for sanitary purposes. So what I did, whenever I use these, I wipe off the excess down here in the little well. It's kind of like, what? It's kind of like old school ink pens. And so when I do this, I always line my lips first, so I have a guide of where I'm going. Okay, and then I fill in. So I don't necessarily like using a lip liner with the stunner paints because they already have such strong color payoff. And that's why I wipe off the excess, because this one swipe has so much pigment in it. You don't need all the product that comes out on the wand. And I know for some people, they have a hard time with it drying down. It takes so long. And that's because you don't need to use all the product that's on the wand. Wipe off some in the well before you actually apply it. Excuse me, because you still have enough after you wipe off the excess to go over your whole lip, just like I did. That's literally one pass. And I like how white my teeth look. Yay! So essentially, old Hollywood, they did not wear a lot of blush. I am going to put on some highlighter today just because I like highlighter. And so I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills with Amrezy highlighter Illuminaire. And I think this was in the color Amrezy. I don't think that it actually had a color name for it. And I tried to find the coolest color highlighter that I have, because I do not buy cool color highlights at all. I don't like the way they look on me, so I don't purchase them. But this is what it looks like. So it's kind of, oops, sorry you guys. So it's kind of like, it's like a champagne colored gold, which I think will go well with today's look. And I'm literally just taking the Colored Rain medium shape blending brush, and I'm just wiping it over the top. And I don't want a whole lot. I just want enough to be seen. And that's more than enough right there. Just enough to give me a nice little hit of color. And I don't necessarily want the gold to show up. I just want the highlight of it to show up, if that makes any sense. And if you want to, you can do a little bit up under your eyes, even though this is not old Hollywood. I just like it. And if you want to give yourself some illumination right in here, and I'm treading very, very lightly here, just enough so you see that little glimmer there. That's all I want. I don't want the blinding highlight. I just want the illusion that I was here. You got a whiff of me. I was here, and now I'm going on about my business. And so I just wiped off any excess that I had on my napkin. And then I'm just kind of moving this around here, because I don't want to pick up any more product. I just want to ensure what's already there is seen. And if you want a little bit more, you can pick up more. I love it. And then I'm just going to put just a dab right there in the center. Right above my Cupid's bow. I wanted to use a brush because I can get real heavy-handed right in here, and I don't want it to be super, and I don't want my lipstick to smudge. All right, you guys, and we're done. This is the final look. What do you guys think? Well, before I put on my clothes and everything. I really like how, oh, I forgot to sit. 1 second. So I thought I was recording, and I went ahead and sprayed my face. I used a different sponge, or excuse me, I sprayed the sponge and used a different one because my pink one fell on the floor. But what I was saying was that if you want your highlighter to be more prominent on your face, you can actually apply it after you do your setting spray, because your face is still wet, so it will be more emollient and it will stick much better and show up more. But for today's look, I love how everything came out. I think it's very simple, very sophisticated, and I think it looks very lovely, very old school, very Hollywood. This is a very simple look to recreate. It's only 2 colors of eyeshadow, and then you don't even have to use the black eyeshadow that I used as eyeliner. You can actually use black eyeliner to get the same look. So tell me, guys, what do you think? I'll be right back with the... So this is the finished look. Try to do an old Hollywood, oh, look at me, I'm here type of hairstyle today. Nothing super extravagant, but just like a nice elegant bun. So what do you think? As always, thank you so much for joining me for today's tutorial. I wish you all nothing but happiness, health, and love, and peace in your future. To all of my April babies, happy birthday and happy belated birthday. And until the next time, oh, and please subscribe to my channel. If you like this content, if you have some suggestions, please let me know. Drop a comment down below and I'll respond if I can, as soon as I can. Thank you for your continued support. And until the next time, you guys, bye.